Once Upon a Time is one of my favorite live-action TV series. I just love the amount of plot and the amount of effort that went into this beautiful show, giving us fairy tale characters' backstories that are believable each time, and they managed to jumble them all together like it's no problem at all. It's just amazing how they tell these many stories, and yet they have fit them into only 4 seasons so far. However, I haven't been up to date with the show sadly due to personal life endeavors, so I have only seen the first 3 seasons. And therefore this list I'm about to share is not up to date, and I apologize. But I still have a lot of main characters on this list so that it won't be that big of an issue. Anyways, here are my top 10 favorite characters from this magnificent show. Number 10. Mary Margaret Blanchard, Snow White. I know Snow White is like the main fairy tale icon of this show, but I just don't like her character as much as some others. And it's not because she's a princess, okay? I'm not a sexist. Anyways, I do really like Snow White's character. She's loyal to her husband, Prince Charming. She's only done one dark thing throughout the entire series, but that was only to save another person's life. And she can fight her own battles, unlike Disney originally had you believe. There's nothing to really dislike about this character. However, the main reason she's so low on this list is because, well, the actress rather. I mean, sometimes her acting can be a little but still, a great character and still makes the top 10. Just by a smidge. Number 9. Malcolm, Peter Pan. Peter Pan may be a hero in other storybook lore, but in this series, he's one of the most evil and powerful villains that the main cast of heroes has ever gone up against. In this show, his backstory is quite the twist. If you don't want any spoilers, then skip ahead to this time. It is revealed near the end of the first half of Season 3 that Peter Pan is actually the father of Rumpelstiltskin. How this is possible is that Rumpel's father, Malcolm, was a dirty, rotten thief, and young Rumpel wanted his dad to stop stealing money from people. When he realized that as long as Rumpel lives in the village, he will always be a hustler, 2 ladies give him a magic bean so that he and his dad can go to another realm where they can start over. His dad decides that they should go to Neverland, since he would always visit there as a boy, and it was a very magical place where you could fly without a care. But as it turns out, the magic doesn't work for Malcolm, because he's not a boy anymore. So he has to become a boy in order to use the magic in Neverland. And before he can be a child again, he has to give up something that exposes the grown-up he really is. His son. That is how Rumpelstiltskin and Peter became enemies, and that is how Peter became ruler of Neverland. Being one of the most dangerous and evil villains in the show, however, isn't quite enough. But the character really fucking creeps me out, and it really gives me chills whenever he's on screen. And the actor they picked to play Peter is amazingly spot on. So Peter Pan definitely takes the cake home as one of the best villains I've seen on TV. Number 8. Lacey, or Belle. Belle all around is my favorite Disney princess of all time, mainly because she actually doesn't force herself to love a prince like most others. And she can see the beauty inside even the most hideous creatures, which I respect her greatly for. And the character and actress of Belle in this show is fucking amazing. They got it right on the dot. The actress who plays Belle is exactly what I imagined Belle would be in a live-action TV show. And those eyes. Damn it, those eyes are beautiful. Well, my girlfriend's are better, but still. And just how passionate and strong-willed her character is. It's just breathtaking. It really gives me a sense of comfort whenever there's a scene with her. And she has gone through so much as well, being locked up alone for 28 years by the evil queen, struggling to maintain a relationship with Rumpelstiltskin, being fucking shot in the back and losing her memory. Jesus Christ! But still she manages to be one of the strongest characters in this series, and she is just incredible in every way. Too bad I had to put her so low on the list though. Number 7. Henry Swan, or Henry Mills. The ultimate glue that holds this series together pretty much. The grandson of Snow White and the son of the show's main protagonist, Emma Swan. Ever since he showed up on his mother's apartment doorstep and announced,
"My name's Henry. I'm her son."
He has been incredibly enjoyable to watch. Are kids that are this intelligent out there? Cause if there is, I want to adopt them. This kid is unbelievably clever, and well, he has the purest heart of every character in the show. How can you not love a character like that? In the first season, it was his goal to convince his mother that Storybrooke was a cursed town, and only her mother could break the curse that is keeping everybody from remembering who they are. And he never gave up even when things were at their most hopeless. He almost died in a mine trying to search for evidence. He took a poisonous apple turnover for his mom. This kid is fucking tough as nails. And even after his goal was complete and he finally managed to save everyone, he still continued to play a big role in the story from then on. This kid has to be one of my favorite child characters that I've seen on TV to date. Number 6. August Wayne Booth, Pinocchio. I'm not talking about the child version of Pinocchio, by the way. The child version in this show was like unbearable for me, except in the scene where he's with baby Emma. No, I'm talking about the awesome adult version of him, August Wayne Booth. He first travels into Storybrooke in the first season, and no one has a clue who he is. And for quite a while, he was creepy as fuck. Acting mysterious all the time, always watching everything unfold by the sidelines. Eesh. But then when it turns out he's Pinocchio, when I look back at how he acts earlier in the season, I realize something. He's just being honest. And sometimes being honest means you don't have a lot to say, and you need to remain mysterious. Even when people ask him who he is, he doesn't lie, but rather bends the truth to make it sound more mysterious. It takes some really clever minds to make that work out so perfectly. And I myself am a huge fan of characters like that. Also, just how he's there for Emma and uses very clever ways to lead Emma to the truth about her past and what part she plays in Season 1's curse. It's just very well done. So August definitely makes this list. Number 5. Killian Jones, Captain Hook. Many know this character as the rival of Peter Pan, but in this series, you get to find out a shit ton more about him. First off, he's not portrayed as the usual middle-aged man with a wig like you would assume. Hell, even Emma points that out at one point.
In these stories, what was I like? Other than a villain, handsome, I gather.
If waxed mustaches and perms are your thing.
I take it by your tone, perms are bad.
But Captain Hook is still pretty badass in this show. At first I didn't think I was going to like him, mostly due to the fact that he is portrayed as a young hunk. But as I got to know his character more in depth, he became one of my absolute favorites in the show. Yes, he does start out as an unlikable pirate, who still has quite the lovely charm, but the more time he's on screen, the more you find out about what he is deep down. A caring man with a bigger heart than most can see. He had a brother who he would never leave behind, he had a wife that he loved dearly, and I know a lot of Once fans are going to be like, but he stole Rumpel's wife. But she was a terrible wife for Rumpel, so who cares? And all of that was just taken away from him by either Peter Pan or Rumpelstiltskin. Even the evil shit that Hook does later on in his life as a pirate, he regrets doing, like ruining Ariel's chance to find her husband-to-be. And, once again, skip to this time to avoid spoilers, he even falls in love with Emma, which was a twist I thought was gonna fuck everything up, but it didn't. And it actually worked out really nicely. I didn't see those two as becoming a couple whatsoever at first. But then boom, my views changed and I now think Emma and Hook make the perfect couple. So yeah, Hook has a lot of detail to his character. A lot of gray areas on his surface. Also looking after young Balefire like he was his own son, that really pulled my heartstrings. It may have been short-lived, but it was still amazing how much they connected. So Hook definitely is one of the best. But sadly is only halfway up the list because there are still 4 more characters from the series I still love more. Number 4. David Nolan, Prince Charming. Another one of the main puzzle pieces to this series, Prince Charming, as you know, is the charming husband of Snow White. And I have to admit, when he was David Nolan and had no memory of being a prince in Season 1, I really didn't like his character. Not only was he bland as fuck, but he was also kind of an asshole. I mean, he was so willing to have an affair with Catherine. Okay, feelings for another woman or not, you chose to marry the woman you're married to. I don't give 2 shits if you have no memory of it. I don't give 2 shits if Prince Charming and Snow White are supposed to be together. And the fact that you don't have any memory of it makes it even worse. You should have continued to make new memories with Catherine, your actual wife at the time, instead of cheating on her just because this woman makes more goddamn sense. Right from there, I started to hate David's guts. And then he believes Mary Margaret, the woman he had strong feelings for committing a crime he knows she can never commit. Fuck you! After those 2 horrible moments in David's storyline, I had absolutely no respect at all for David Nolan. Hell, not even Prince Charming, because that entire time when we got flashbacks of Prince Charming, he was acting like a fucking macho man. Even when he was saving Princess Abigail's actual lover. Also, yes, I did feel bad for Catherine Nolan when David divorced her ass. She had every right to throw a fit of depression and rage. She had every right to smack Mary Margaret in the face. Also, I was thinking maybe everything would turn out fine and maybe she would start dating Storybrooke's Frederick. But nope. They first meet when Catherine bumps into his shoulder and he's all like, "Watch it." So yeah, Season 1 was cruel as hell to Catherine Nolan. And I hated David so much for it. Anyways, after all that ranting, you're probably wondering why he's my 4th favorite character. Well, it's rather how he amazingly redeemed himself in Season 2. When he became Prince Charming again, I actually gained back my respect for him. Pretty damn quickly, too. I mean, he's obviously a very loyal and loving husband, cares deeply about his family and wants them to be safe from harm, and will go out of his way to risk his life to save them at every turn. My god, that's the true definition of heroic. Prince Charming is like the Superman of this show. Just amazing. So, hell yeah, Prince Charming from Season 2 onward makes his way into my top 5. Number 3. Emma Swan. The main protagonist of the whole series, so you're probably wondering, why the hell is she at number 3? Well, just because she's the spotlight most of the time, I still think 2 other characters have more likable qualities. I mean, don't get me wrong, Emma is an amazing character. Sure, she has her Stonewall moments a lot, which I don't like, and is probably the main reason she isn't at number 1 or 2. But she is still a very strong female lead, and is the reason I believe that this show manages to keep me pulled in. I mean, she could be a hard-ass, talking and acting all tough, but only when she really needs to. But other times, she shows her softer and loving side. Also, I feel her pain whenever she is in pain. I mean, being abandoned by her parents and her husband, and to top the sundae, giving up her baby? And then suddenly being reunited with all of them, but only after years of being alone. It's really tough, and she has a lot of internal conflicts because of it. And it's just amazing whenever she opens herself up and is able to talk things out, and make things better for herself and those around her. Most of my teary-eyed moments from watching this show come from scenes focused on Emma and her dark past and present moments. She really knows how to reach out to the audiences on an emotional level. And the final reason why I love this character so much is that she reminds me of someone I love with all my heart as well. And just knowing that there's a chance for her to be happy makes me happy. The same thing goes for Emma. It's just amazing how much I think of Emma as a person, and not just a TV show character. Anyways, before I get teary-eyed right now, let's get to the last top 2, shall we? Number 2. Regina Mills, the Evil Queen. No, this isn't some villain addiction bias or anything. Regina definitely deserves the spot on the list. I mean, just the drastic change in between Season 1's Regina and Season 2's Regina is amazing. Just how much she goes through. I mean, for pretty much all of Season 1, you probably despise Regina. I mean, she was the Evil Queen after all. That was all there was to her character. And she did all these despicable things to the characters, like crushing their hearts, driving people out of town, making her own adopted son Henry think he was insane for thinking something that was secretly true and she knew it was true, for his entire childhood almost? Damn, you can't get more unlikable than that. But then when Season 2 came around, she eventually completely turns around. Sure, it takes a little bit of time, and she always has her turning points, but she was able to turn around all 3 of the before-mentioned things that were originally disliked about her. She stopped killing people, she worked alongside the good guys. And for what reason? Because it's what her adopted son, whom she loves more than anyone in existence, wanted her to do. Like I said, incredible. Just the genuine feeling I get when she tries to turn her life around for the better. I actually shared the pain of her struggle as I watched it all unfold. It worked out amazingly. And therefore, she was definitely one of my absolute favorite characters to not just watch, but get to know on screen. Now, before we get to my number 1 favorite character from the show, let's take a quick look at some honorable mentions that I sadly couldn't put in the top 10. Neil Cassidy, Balefire. This character is just amazing in every way. I really wanted him on the list, but he just didn't make it. But watching this kid go through dark event after dark event pretty much his whole life is just really pulls me in. I mean, just by knowing he's Rumpelstiltskin's son, you know he's going to play a big, likable role. The main thing that I like about him is how stable of a character he is. Allow me to explain. He was born with parents who were growing apart, had to witness everybody considering his father a coward, witnessed his father becoming the Dark One, watching him kill people with his new power, being abandoned by his